everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. Today we're going to be working with this new bundle called Frozen Edges, and we have a stamp set and die, so that makes it a bundle. And to keep it very Christmassy looking, I'm going to keep it in just two basic colors. We're going to do real red and basic white, and I think this is going to be really pretty. I'll show you my prototype. And I was just playing around yesterday, and this is what I came up with. I thought it was very simple, but yet elegant. And I'm going to show you how I made this. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and cut our card base. And our card base is going to be in the white. So we need a half a sheet. This is 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to put it in my trimmer on the 11-inch side. And we're going to bring it over to 5.5. Right there, line it up, and this is going to give us a cut right down the middle. Then we're going to turn it. Well, I'm going to score on my scoreboard. I want to go ahead and cut another piece that's 4 inches by 5.25, and this is going to be one of our mats. So 5.25. And this will be for the inside of our card. I'm going to lay that right there. And this is our card base. And now let's go ahead and cut this piece. And I want this piece to be a little bit bigger because we're going to cut the die. And then when we come back, we're going to cut the die down. And I'm going to use this one right here. It's so pretty. And I want to make sure that it fits on this piece of paper. Maybe I might go in this direction. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this maybe like that. This isn't an exact measurement. We could pull this out and I could tell you exactly where I'm cutting it. Maybe I'll do that. That will help if you're one of those people that needs precise measurements. And I'm thinking probably right at 6 would be good. Yeah, let's just cut this at 6 inches. So I'm going to close this back down and we can bring this in and this should fit. Yeah, that'll work. So we're going to cut it at 6 inches. And what's so nice about this trimmer, when you butt it up against the lip of your arm that swings out, that gives you exactly a 6-inch piece. So, we're not going to need it this big. So I'm going to cut this down to about 4. So 6 by 4 on your red piece, and that will allow us to get this piece, and we'll probably bring it down about like that, and we'll die cut that from that piece. Okay. The other thing that we're going to need, I'll tell you what, let's get our scoreboard out and go ahead and score our card. This is my Simply Scored scoring tool. And we're going to bring this up and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Got a good score. I'll burnish that down. Grab my folder. Do I have it out? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. It's up here in my little cubby. So I'm going to give that a really good burnish, and I'll do it on both sides because I want to make sure that this lays nice and flat. So now the next thing I need to do is cut our little snowflake edge. And I'm bringing it down to the bottom about like that. And I'm going to use some of my little sticky Post-it flags just to help hold that on for me. And I am going to just run this through my electronic machine that's right here beside me. for the sake of time and what have you. This card's going to have a little bit of everything because we're going to have some die cutting. We are going to have some heat embossing with embossing powder. And I want to show you another little trick that I think works so good. So we're going to take this off, and we're going to have lots of little pieces here. Be careful when you pull this out. Because you don't want to tear your snowflakes. So just be like one tore anyway. I think we can salvage that though. All right, so I'm going to grab my paper snips because I want to snip this bottom piece off. This needs to be snipped. And then right here where it connects, get it underneath that snowflake and snip. Then you have this beautiful piece that will look so pretty on your card. Now you want to look and see if all of your little pieces fell out, and you can see quite a few are in here, and I'll clean that out after the video. So I think we are good. Let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. I just want to come in and make sure that any of these little pieces that were supposed to be popped out are out. Looks pretty good. So something like that, and that gives you your piece that you're going to need. And bring our card base back over. And what I want to do is I want to lay this down about like that. And I'm going to cut this piece off. So let's bring the trimmer back down. I'm going to trim this piece in two directions. We're going to take a little bit off this way because I need this to fit across the card base. And we know this is 5.5. So double check, yeah, 5.5. So we know this piece is 6 inches. So we're going to need to take a 1/4 inch off of each side. So I'm going to start at the top and just come down like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Only I'm going to put this up. And I'll put it at 5.5. Like so. All those little pieces and bits out of your way. Now we need to cut this piece down. And I am going to cut, I'm going to line it up even with my trimmer and just slide that up. Now the reason I did that is I want to do my stamping on this piece, and then we're going to put these together on our card, and we'll cover that seam with some ribbon, and that will add to the beauty of the card as well as make this very functional piece. Now I'm going to bring over a piece of notebook paper. I'm just going to use this to protect my surface. And from the stamp set, I'm going to grab this cluster of snowflakes. And I'm going to grab a stamp block. And you can see this is going to pretty much cover this entire piece, which is what you want. And this is where I'm going to do something a little different. Instead of using my Versamark, I'm going to come in with my craft white ink. And this stays wet long enough where you can emboss it. And when you are doing white embossing, using a white ink makes your piece really super white. So if you're using white embossing powder, try this trick. I think you'll be very pleased with the outcome. So I'm going to put that down, give it a good press. And then I'm going to re-ink. I'll turn it. And I'm going to kind of turn this direction. And then I'm just going to ink a little bit and get a tiny bit of snowflakes right there. And a little bit right here. And now that piece is ready to be embossed. So I'm going to close up my ink pad and grab my white embossing powder. I'm going to get my little handy dandy tweezers out. And I want to find just a little place that I can hold that, and that looks like a good place right there. And I'm going to take my embossing powder and put all over this piece. That's so pretty. And when we heat emboss this, it's going to be even more pretty, more gorgeous. So let's put this away. Make sure I didn't get any, I did pretty good. I didn't get it all over my desk. So I'm going to grab my heat tool, and I want to heat this up a little bit. This is the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. It has 2 heat settings, 1 and 2. Anytime you're doing any heat embossing, you want to do it on 2. So I'm going to let it heat up just a little bit. I think we got that all melted. And what the heat gun does, it literally melts the embossing powder where it becomes one with the paper. And it's just a beautiful effect. I love the way it looks. So pretty. Look how vibrantly white that looks. So now we're going to bring our card base back. And this piece is going to go right across the top like that. And then this piece is going to tuck under like this. So when you put this on the card, it's going to look like one complete piece with white snowflakes at the top, and then you're going to have that beautiful snowflake piece down here. So to put these together, I'm going to run some tear and tape. Let's see. Can't find my roll of tear and tape. I might have used it all, but this is the same thing. It's just a different brand. And I'm going to run a piece right along the top edge. Like that. And we want to burnish it because when you burnish it, it really helps the adhesive to stick. So when you lift up your backer, your adhesive will stay. But now I want to pull that over like that because I'm going to show you a trick. Whenever you're putting down any type of tape and you need to match it up, do this, line it up with your piece and grab it just on that one edge. And then when you turn it over, you can grab this piece of your tape. And as you pull that out, you're going to get a perfect adhesion. And there you go. Isn't that neat? I love that little trick. So now this is actually ready to go onto our card base. But before we do, I'm going to do a trowel run. I'm going to set that down. And I want to grab my Roll Red ink. because we need a sentiment on the front of this. We also need a piece of ribbon. So I'm going to run my piece of ribbon on here. On this one, I didn't do that, but that's why we do a prototype. My ribbon actually ran under here and caused me to need another piece of cardstock. I'm not going to do that with this one because I'm going to run my ribbon. And this ribbon, I think, has retired. But if you've got any red ribbon, and most of us have red ribbon, any red ribbon will work. And all you want to do is run it right on that seam. So I'm going to turn this over. The seam is right there. Let me close this ink back up until I get my ribbon on. I'll surely get my hand in it. I'm going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put my Stampin' Seal right about here. And right about here. Just so it will grab the ribbon when I wrap it around. So now, I can lay my ribbon. I got my right side up. Just wrap it a little bit on each side, like that. Then we can just take our scissors and trim that, just like that. Now, if you want to, and I'm going to put a little glue dot in the middle, just to hold that. I'm going to do that by just putting it right up underneath there, like that. Because I'm going to put a bow right there so that won't show. And now we are ready to put the whole thing on our card. Okay. So I think I'm going to use liquid glue on this. And all I want to do is just really do a heavy amount. Put some on your ribbon. And now we're going to sit this right up at the top. You notice I keep checking to make sure that my card is opening where I want it to. So let's sit that right about there. I'm going to tap it down. So I want it to be at the very top of my card. Give that a little smush. Looks really good. Now I want to come back in and using a sentiment from this stamp set, snuggle up and hope for snow. We could put wishing you a cozy day or let yourself rest. Any one of these sentiments would be beautiful in this card. But I really like the one that says snuggle up and hope for snow. And we're going to do that right here in red. And I think it's going to look spectacular. So now back to my red ink pad. Grab a stamp block and I'm going to pick this up like this. It already had ink on it. Oh no. Ah. Okay, let's hope we can salvage. Not perfect, but you know what? We're going to go with it. Things like that happen. Evidently, I did not clean the stamp very well after I used it, and that is so unlike me. I always clean my stamps. I'm going to grab my stylus shaped dies, and I'm going to grab this circle. Let's see if that will slide up under there. I wonder if we can go one smaller. think that will work. This one, I believe, will slide under here. So I didn't put glue on this part of it. I'm glad I didn't. Okay, we're going to try it. I mean, at this point, I don't really have a lot to lose, so I figured let's go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this again in real red. Something like that. And then I'm going to lay this on top of it. About like that. Let's go ahead and put that in place. I'm going to run this through my die machine. And that turned out really good. So let's put my die all the way over here. And let's see if we slide this under here. I think that'll work. Kind of a roundabout way to do that. And I'm going to take some of this ribbon. I think this one is retired as well. But any pretty white ribbon that you have. Make sure I got ink off of my fingers. And I'm going to do my little loopy bow. It's going to be a double bow, so make sure it's looped twice on your fingers. Pull this through. And I'll grab my big scissors. And I'm going to cut off about like that. And then I'm going to loop that through my finger. Sometimes the ribbon wants to cooperate and sometimes it doesn't, but we have to show it who the boss is. So I'm going to pull this up and pull that under. So you want to get it under that loop in the middle. And pull it out. You don't want a big bow, you want something kind of tiny. And you want to rock this back and forth to tie that down. And then when you take it off of your fingers, you got this cute little bow to put on your card. And then you can just lay this down. Oops, I haven't adhered this down yet. I have to decide if I want to cover this, because this needs to go right there. We're going with it. We're going to go with it. So put some glue on it. Slide it up underneath there. And then we'll put our bow right here. And we salvaged this card, believe it or not. You know, things happen. And I'm sure when you're crafting, you make little boo-boos, but learning how to work with it anyway, even if it didn't turn out exactly the way you had planned, it works. So, practice. If you make a mistake, practice different ways of making it work. And sometimes those can be some of our prettiest cards, because I would not have thought to put a circle there had I not had a boo-boo. So now we can go and work on the inside. And for the inside of our card, I want to put down a red piece. You could go all red and do a white embossed sentiment. Maybe I might do that. So let's cut this piece down to 4. 5 1/4. And I want a Merry Christmas to go on here. So something, um, this one is so pretty. I like that one. Hope your season is filled with magic. And I love the Merry Christmas to you. Let's do the Merry Christmas to you. I like that it's a hot cocoa day too. That would be so cute on the snow card. Um, oh, decisions. Um, I'm gonna go with the Merry Christmas to you. I like that. And I'm gonna do this in the white ink right in the middle of my card. Right about there. This time I am going to use my powder tool. This is an anti-static tool, and I will list the entire kit. This comes in a kit called the Essential Embossing Kit. I believe that's what it's called. But this is anti-static powder, and I'm just rubbing on here so that nothing sticks where I don't want it to. And I'm going to bring the white ink back over. Didn't transfer as quite as deep as I wanted it to. But let's see what it looks like once we put some embossing powder on it. Hopefully, it's going to look beautiful. Oh yeah, much, much better. And now back with our heat tool. And we're going to heat set this just like we did our snowflakes. And now that we have that all done, I like to go back with my brush and just brush off any of that excess emboss the powder from the little embossing buddy, because nobody wants white dust on their piece. So now this is ready to go inside our card. So we can adhere this inside. I'm going to use some liquid glue. And there is our beautiful little boo-boo Christmas card. But nobody has to know that we made a boo-boo. I mean, we camouflaged it beautifully. And here's the one that I didn't do the boo-boo on, and this is the one I did. So both are beautiful cards. I haven't done anything on the inside of this one, but here's what I was talking about. I put a piece of white to cover up because I wrapped this around the card. I do like it better what I did here because I wrapped it around the piece and I didn't have anything there to camouflage. So those are my cards. I think they both turned out. Let's just look at this one because this is the one that we actually made. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this cute little tutorial. And oh, by the way, I got my inspiration from the catalog. I was looking at this set in the catalog and I saw this and I wanted to do something similar. So I wanted to turn it and do it landscape, do it in red and white. And I decided not to do the circle, but I ended up with the circle anyway. So that was my inspiration for this card. So if this card looks somewhat familiar, you'll know why. I saw that idea in the catalog and I kind of jumped on it. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring honor and glory to our Savior Jesus. He is worthy. Until next time, know that you're loved. Bye-bye.